Of course, the topic of this kind of project is strictly focused on the end user. And in this case, the end user comes from the neurological clinic of the University of Bari, when we are trying to address the problem that patients affected by mild cognitive impairment are hospitalized. So we have 4 companies that working in the fields of ICT, 2 research labs, one from Polytechnic of Bari, one from SETMA, and then the University of Bari. So the main topics of this project is just to scan the environment of patients, for example, their houses or maybe the room in their hospital. And by these topics is interesting because we try to use very cheaper sensor like Kinect. I think that you know Kinect because sometimes it's very interesting in terms of gaming. So the main topics is just to scan the environment in order to requalify them and then to let the designer to optimize the characteristics of this environment. To do so, you are, for example, use some objects that you can recognize in the scene. For example, you have a sofa, you have a chair, you have a desk, and then you have glasses on the top. So, by using the Kinect sensor, we are able to scan the rooms of these houses. The main idea and then the innovation of this project is focused on the possibility to monitor and then to evaluate the response of the stimuli of these patients. And this is a very innovative task because we can try 2 different kinds of signals. The signals that come from the EEG, the signals that we have in our brain, and the signals that are coming from the electrocardiography. So, the very importance of these topics is just to record these signals. In our brain, as you know, we have 100 billions of neurons, and each neurons are dedicated to a topic. So we have 2 families of topic. We have neurons motor and neurons primer. So the very importance of these topics is related to the fact that in our brain, to do an act is similar to think, to do an act. And then it's possible to measure the response of our brain even without an action, just thinking to do an action. And okay, so this is a very short presentation video. So in this case we can reconstruct our environment. You can see that now the patient is navigating in terms of these stimulus. Now you are changing, for example, the lights. And then it's very important to address the problems that light conditions affect the well-being situation in the houses. Now we are monitoring the EEG response to the changing of the lights, for example, so in order to have the better performance in terms of light conditions or maybe color or maybe the layout of the house. So at the end of this video, we can try to investigate the possibility to, by using a domotic strategy, for example, to adjust the shades in order to have more or much more lights, or maybe use some strategies like chromotherapy, or maybe using lit paths in order to guide the patients to reach, for example, his kitchen or maybe his bathroom, and then to monitor the goodness of the well-being in order to be able to do this act. And then at the end, for example, the use of a very friendly voice. For example, if you think at elderly people, they are very familiar with other people in the family, and it's very important to improve the familiarity of this environment by using a very friendly voices. Okay.